What is the gravest threat facing America? America faces an internal crisis and a threat from within that seeks to destroy the American way of life by dismantling the foundation of American democracy, the right of the American people to pick our leaders, to chart our own destiny, the right to vote. It is at the foundation of the American idea, the American ideal, the idea that each of us is sovereign and able to chart our destiny as free human beings. In this land, the majority rules, but the minority is protected by a system that limits the power of government, including the government's most powerful offices, like the office of the President of the United States. Under the American system, the people choose and give power for a short time to their fellow citizens who serve, swear an oath of allegiance to the American Constitution, and then return to the responsibilities of citizenship after their service is over. Everybody who works for the government works for the American taxpayer, for the American citizen. We, the people, do not work and are not subservient to the president. The American presidency is an office, a highly distinguished one, that has been filled by some of the greatest leaders in the American story. Men of outstanding character, judgment, restraint. Men of tremendous quality. Donald Trump was not one of them. His presidency was a failure, and in fact, he is the worst president in American history. The greatest threat our country faces is that our 248-year-old republic will fall to a tyrant, to a Caesar, who will take the democracy in an election and thrash it. That is the danger. And it has always been the danger, not just to this republic, but to every republic. And in the end, most every republic that has ever been has succumbed to this danger. Donald Trump is the tyrant, and there should be no mistake about that. The Republican Party is his vessel. He controls it at an institutional level, lock, stock, and barrel. What that means is the Republican Party, which as an institution was formed to fight slavery and has stood since its beginning for the American Republic, has become hostile to what it was created to serve. John Kennedy once pointed out, what purpose is there for a great political party if they do not have a great national purpose? The answer, of course, the purpose of the Republican Party is the overthrow of Republican democracy in the United States for the purposes of installing Donald Trump to sate his ego for power, for victory, despite the fact that he was rejected by the American people and that his faction is a minority. What Donald Trump hopes for, what he prays for, is that he will be able to fuse a coalition of indifference and apathy with his minority faction, that through bluster, intimidation, and polarization, he can turn enough people off while turning his people out to take control of the American government and to remake it, this time completely, in his image, in his vision. And his vision has been one that he has been crystal clear about. He seeks retribution and he seeks revenge against his political enemies. He should be taken very, very seriously. Since the Republican Party, the third oldest political party in the world, has collapsed utterly at a moral level and has turned hostile towards America, what is the role of the Democratic Party in American society? It is very simple. The Democratic Party is the singularly most important institution in 2023 America for the preservation of the American Revolution and the defense of American freedom. Again, America will never be conquered militarily, which means it can only fall politically. And that only through an election to a faction that is hostile to the U.S. Constitution and another election. The role of the Democratic Party is to defend American democracy against that faction, against the political party that seeks to burn it down, all of it, to install Donald Trump as leader, not president. The Democratic Party's singular responsibility is to win elections around the most important question and issue of our age. Will we continue to be free? Will the republic endure? There is no office, no ego, no entitlement, no prerogative, no nothing that is more important than defeating the MAGA menace and destroying Trump's autocratic cult as a political force in this country. Let me repeat, there is nothing more important. Again, the looming election is existential. There is no issue, no person who is more important than defending American liberty, including the leader of the Democratic Party, the 46th President of the United States, Joseph Robinette Biden of Delaware. Politics is a communication and vision business. Specifically, the Democratic nominee for president needs to be able to effectively confront a world-class demagogue, a vast propaganda apparatus, an enormous treasure chest of resources, and the most complex and fragmented media environment in American history. Further, they need to defend complex concepts and vital institutions in a time of anger, disillusionment, division, distrust, and hostility. The political challenge ahead is also one of the most difficult and pressing communication challenges in American history. Cynicism can only be overcome by idealism, as hate can only be overcome by love. A political leader must be able to lift the nation by inspiring her people to a common cause and destiny. It is time to begin thinking about this issue with the utmost seriousness and urgency it deserves. President Biden's campaign is premised on the oft-repeated declaration that he alone can beat Trump, as Trump has claimed that he alone can fix America. It isn't true, and it shouldn't be accepted as fact. The stakes are too high. President Biden is smeared 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by his MAGA foes as senile, unfit, incompetent, and utterly, absolutely corrupt. It has taken an enormous toll, and as a general proposition has been allowed to pass without rebuttal or pushback. Any person who believes this hasn't taken root in the culture, and particularly with younger voters, is kidding themselves. There seems to me to be a real lack of democratic imagination about the viciousness of the campaign to come. And there is a fair question at hand. Is Joe Biden ready? Over and over and over again, White House officials have made it crystal clear to the Access media reporters of the White House press corps that they want Trump. to become the nominee because he will be easily beaten by Biden. Sorry, I'm not down with the bet at all. I was the first person on national television to say Trump could capture the GOP nomination in 2015. And I predicted in September of 2020 that there would be political violence after Trump denied the 2020 election result, and that a MAGA candidate, including Trump, could not only win a two-person race, but would be an absolutely favorite in a three-way race. In fact, it may be impossible for Biden to win a three-way race, depending upon whom No Label runs. And make no mistake, they are running someone. The 2024 campaign will not be the 2020 COVID campaign. President Biden will not be able to run a post-COVID version of the basement campaign. Should past be prologue, most incumbent presidents are crushed in their first fall debate, and Biden won't have been in one in nearly 4 years. He does few interviews and therefore has fallen into a deadly trap. The scarcity of interviews raises the stakes of each one. The constant commentary around the lack of interviews, combined with the smearing, makes it appear that the president is hiding from contact because he isn't up for the campaign, let alone the rigors of the presidency. This is alarming. Over the last year, American women have lost their health care rights. Black, Hispanic, and Asian Americans have lost affirmative action. And gay Americans have been denied basic services through the radical Supreme Court's decision to license discrimination against their community. Over and over again, a radical minority has been better at playing the political game, building coalitions, raising money, and exercising political power. The result has been the recent erosions of progress under a banner of revanchism that seeks to undo the civil rights, women's rights, and gay rights movements. Further, the MAGA party has become a raging engine of corruption and foreign influence, where the American people are constantly sold out to the highest bidder. I have to be honest. I worry when I see the president routinely confuse the war in Ukraine with the war in Iraq. I worried when I saw the president stand up and walk off a TV set while the interview was ending and segueing into commercial break. Are you worried? Concerned? There is no question in my mind whatsoever around who I will vote for in a choice between Biden and Trump. It's an easy one. It's Biden. It's also not in front of us. 1 year from now, the party conventions will be at hand and the election just over the horizon. I'm going to say what I think the election's about. It's about my kids. My children will live in America for the next 80 years. They will breathe air, God willing, in 22nd century America. That is what this is about. Our future and our children's futures and their children's futures and the generations of Americans not yet born. All presidents and all presidential candidates have bad days. That's okay. What's important here is the warm-up laps of campaign 2024 will be over by Labor Day. President Biden needs to be ready for game day. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you never miss a video. Also, for more content just like this, please consider joining our Warning Premium community. You can find out more in the description below.